So John is actually in Hawaii. It was his birthday yesterday, and
That's right.
he looks cool as hell with that background. He's got the Hawaii background. I begged him to do it. I begged him.
So yeah, no, it's great out here. But then again, so excited! It's the greatest time of the year. Football's starting, baseball's getting ready for we got the playoff push for all that. But we're NFL guys, and so and football guys in general. So kind of started off on a a good mark. It's always the beginning of the year where you're going to find the best upsets, especially in those survivor pools. You know how it is, Vegas. They don't want you in survivor pools. They don't want you just betting once and writing it out for the whole year. They want your money every week. Deposit early, deposit often. They want our cash. So that might even be kind of a theme of this first one here. Just like last year when we were telling everybody, do not take the biggest favorite on the board to win in a survivor pool. We said, you're going to have the pardon the expression, but the first game with a black quarterback, we're taking New England over the Bengals. Everybody laughed at us, and we were just counting our money, and we were the ones that ended up laughing all the way to the bank on that. And so this year, it's going to be no different. There are going to be some, people that are just pretty much shoe-in favorites, at least from a money line standpoint, where everybody wants to bank on them and the survivor stuff. And before they know it, money gone. And so I see a lot more of that stuff happening, but it seems to be at first glance a little bit less consequential of a week one versus last year. But I'm ready. Let's get into it.
Cool. So yeah, we got the first game is the Cowboys at the Eagles. Dallas has. I mean, I'm a closet Dallas fan actually, as a Buffalo Bills guy, because when I was a child, they beat the Bills twice in the Super Bowl back-to-back years. Literally crushed my heart. So since then, I'm kind of like, well, what if the Cowboys were cool again? Um, this week they're not. Okay, I like the Eagles. At this point, it's -8.5. This line has fluctuated in the last week or so from 6.5 to 8.5 now. I'm on the Eagles minus the 8.5 because, not because they're Super Bowl champs, but just because, like, I don't see Dallas scoring more than 13 to 17 points. And I think the Eagles, will probably score in the low 30s.
I think that's pretty strong. And I'm so glad we didn't do this video yesterday because I would have said to play the middle. It was 6.5 yesterday. And I was liking those points, but not liking Dallas to win. And so whenever you have that big favorite, especially when they come off of a blowout victory in a Super Bowl, and then they're favored at home week one against a lesser foe. And let's face it, that's what Dallas is. I would have been all over those points, but definitely not money lining Dallas. And now to see 2.5 points move to where it could go even more. This could end up closer to 9 by the time kickoff goes. So I think you're solid on that Philadelphia play. But boy, my first look at this on the opening was taking Dallas. Do I think that there's so much money going on Philly that it could move it 2 points? No, I don't. So this could be a better's line, but I'm gonna step out. I'm not gonna play this one myself at all, and I'm gonna just kind of defer to you on this one, Matt. I'm not gonna play the points. I'm not gonna have any action on this game at all because my action would have been the points, but the money's going in the opposite direction. So I got to turn around and hide.
It's okay. I like that. There's no problem doing that. The second game I want to discuss with you is the Chiefs and the Chargers. That's the Friday night game. I'm showing the Chiefs about a -3 right now. So, yeah, I think this one is dangerous territory. Who knows? I mean, it's also out of country, right? So I don't know. I
Get
have no idea.
Brazil.
Yeah, yeah. Packers
Interesting.
Eagles last year. Was that the one that was last year? Packers Eagles. It was a good football game.
Well, it's kind of interesting because I'm not sure either of these teams have ever won a game in Brazil. So it's kind of hard to know one way or another. But I would defer. I would actually want to go with KC on this because the Chargers were basically opening as a plus 150 money line pick on a 3-point line, and those don't come in. If you're betting on a dog at only getting 3, you're usually going to find it at plus 130 if it's a bettor's line. And we don't have that here. So I like KC to win. If I end up betting KC on the money line, it would probably be parlayed with something else. But so I'm not bullish at all on the Chargers in week 1. However, this is my pick, the Chargers, to win the AFC. But week 1, you rarely see the team that's going to win a conference show out too hard in week 1. And the fact that it was plus 3 points, but at plus 150, I'm absolutely out on the Chargers winning this game in week 1.
100%. I agree with that, actually. I think the coaching level of the Chiefs, of course, and, the veterans and everything, it should just be, high as usual, right? So the Chargers, I know they have a rookie running back. They've got Herbert, who they've been, we thought he was going to be really good, and now we're sort of not that sure anymore. It's an exciting time for the Chargers, but I do like the Chiefs in this game. I think the Chiefs will take care of business. Onward. We have the Cincinnati Bengals go to the Cleveland Browns. The Browns at plus 5.5. So this
is at the Browns. I'm sorry. Where's this game?
Yeah, it's at Cleveland. Bengals Browns.
Okay.
So
yeah,
the line has moved because it was 6 or 6.5 for the Bengals at one point. Now it's down to 5.5.
Yeah, I don't know if that shift of the money scares me. If it continues to move, then that's definitely going to be something I want to look at. Although remember, it was last year where we were dead set against the biggest favorite on the board, and that was the Bengals. And they just got into a hole early in the year and couldn't even make the playoffs, but they were definitely a playoff caliber team, in my opinion, even more so this year. So I like the Bengals to start off big, so I'm going with them in week 1.
Cool. I love that pick. The Bengals, they have one of the best offenses in the league, but one of the worst defenses. So, you kind of never know what you're going to get on a week-to-week basis, depending on the quality of team they play. But I love that pick. I think Joe Burrow. I love Joe Burrow. I love Chase. That offense should be humming. I don't see why not. And the Browns haven't shown us anything. So Giants at the Commanders. The Giants are plus 6. Commanders minus 6 at home. Jaden Daniels, right?
Yep.
Kid, McCockstry or whatever. Running back that everyone's picking up on fantasy.
Well, check this out. Who do you like in this one, Matt?
Originally I was on Washington hard. I love the idea of Jaden Daniels and just continuing for it to flow. But on paper, I think the Giants are good enough to even win this game. I like the Giants to cover the points. And that's just kind of like a gut thing. I think that's just what's going to happen this
week. Dude, I like that. In fact, we already talked about Survivor a little bit. I think that Washington is going to be possibly the biggest Survivor play. And so I am scared to death of them. Again, you've got Russell Wilson, who everybody in the world has just written off as done. And the Giants, they're really kind of a laughing stock. They let Barkley go, and then he goes and wins a Super Bowl the first year. They bring in I'm gonna call Russell Wilson, despite his Super Bowl victory, his multiple appearances, and the great career he's had. I'm going to call him a journeyman quarterback at this point, but he won't be this week. I expect them to win this game.
Really?
I don't expect them to win it. I'm betting them on the money line because it's good math. I mean, I could be wrong. I could be right. But if I do the same bet, every pick I play, I'm going to come out ahead because, again, you have Washington. This is a team that humiliated Detroit, who was the best team in football last year. And now they're not even favored at home by a full touchdown against, one of the worst teams in the league. So I see a lot of money going on Washington, and I see it all being collected. So I'll be on the other side on this. I'm a Giants guy this week.
And one of the things you always talk about, John, is if a home team is not favored by like more than six, like 6.5, you don't like them, right? You want them to be at least like 7.5.
When they're the better
Broncos.
team, you're right. Yeah, when they're the better team, absolutely not. And in this case, could they cover? Well, yeah, of course. On any given day, I think that this Washington team could probably beat them by 20 something points and still have made several mistakes, but not in a week one, not where there's so much money, because everybody's waiting for week one every year. And so week one, there's just more money at play in any week until the playoffs. So I see a lot of people all over Washington. And,
Yeah,
if that's where the money is, that's definitely not where the winning is.
exactly. That's why we're here at the Sports Friends. Is we're going to tell you, hey, if you think it's 70% this way, well, you better be on the other side. All right. That's what forensics is all about. And that's what we're going to continue to deliver. Arizona Cardinals. We like don't deliver anything. We've given like no information. Arizona Cardinals, New Orleans Saints. This game is it's a strange one. I mean, the Cardinals on the road -6.5. The Cardinals aren't that amazing, really. Let's grab these guys, right? But on the other hand, the Saints, they might be the worst team in the NFL this year, right? So where do you draw the line? But the Saints, I mean, their defense should be good enough. You still have a sick veteran running back. I don't know. Got to figure it out. This week, I'm on the Cardinals -6.5.
And they're on the road. I agree with you. I also like the Cardinals, and just apply that home field advantage here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if the Cardinals were 14-point favorites at home, you would think that's a ton of points. Most people are going to take the 2 touchdowns. And so that's why I just think that Arizona's a better team. They got better weapons. And I just think that the line is set up in a way to where most people think, oh, wow, 6.5, that's a lot of points. They're at home. It's week one. They've made some improvement. No. Arizona's a much better team. And we haven't even seen how the scheme is going to work in New Orleans, but we do know that Arizona is up and coming. They got the weapons, and this one could get ugly. But then again, it could also be the type of game that is won by Arizona. That I don't see the Saints winning this one at all, but it could be the type of thing to where it's a field goal victory to where nobody wins. And so you got to be careful of the middle here. You really do in this matchup, because it's too easy when you have a team that's so much better to win but not cover. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about who gets the W. If it was, say, 8.5 or 9.5, I would bet that much more on Arizona. So it's to the point to where, that's a legitimate line. Arizona could absolutely just destroy them. But I also say that it's possible that the points come in, but I don't think if it did, it would have anything to do with, a natural game flow.
Right. 100%, John. So I think that, you're onto something there. But the Cardinals and the Saints, it's like kind of one of those, like, who really cares?
The Cardinals, Matt, the Cardinals are the type of team I would pick in a survivor pool if I did one.
Mm-hmm.
So Cardinals are as safe as anyone to win, but the points are really dangerous. And if the points do cover in this, that Vegas is cleaning up on both ends, because anybody for Arizona is laying the points, and anybody for the Saints is taking the money line. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Well, you might want to get on the Saints then, or the Saints plus the 6.5. Yeah, buddy. Pittsburgh Steelers, New York Jets. Here's a game that is really interesting, actually, because I feel like it started off where you really don't know who was going to be the favorite, and the line has moved from, I believe it was started at 2, was 2.5. Now it's up to -3. Pittsburgh Steelers at the New York Jets. I feel like Justin Fields coming from the Steelers to the Jets, like that defense, Pittsburgh's defense is so good. They're gonna know everything about Justin Fields, and Aaron Rodgers, Metcalf, Steelers. Like the Steelers are gonna get at it. I still like them to win this game. I like them to cover those points. It's 3.5.
Yeah, I think that to me, I don't see how it would be possible for anybody logically to want to take the Jets, and that's why I will.
That's forensics. What we need, John, is the like whatever we pick is fine, but like who's sports forensic pick? Like
Well,
that's
you know what? Are they going to just give it away? Look at that Arizona pick. Do I think that Arizona versus New Orleans is any more of a potential bloodbath than this Jets versus a revamped offense in Pittsburgh with arguably the best defense? I see that about the same, but they're a full 3 points different. They're both road teams. So, and the Jets, they've won the last couple week ones and then just went to garbage afterwards. So I'm going to go with JTES. Yeah, that sounds right. JTES.
That's okay with me, man. I love the pick. I think that is definitely a toss-up. So, I mean,
yeah, and this one as well. This could be the type of thing that if it settles at 3.5, then that would be a perfect opportunity for the hook, to where the Steelers win by a field goal and don't cover the point. So we'll see how that settles. But I don't think that week one is the type of thing where early money covers. And now that's usually later in the season. I'm going to take the Jets to win. I'm going to go with Fields to have a monster game. And having just come from Pittsburgh, where they basically dumped him, they rejected him. He's like he's got a little bit of pity karma. That's a term that I created myself. So he's got some pity karma. He's got the world wanting to pump him up and give the Jets at least, some type of air of hope. Because if they lose week one, especially if they get blown out, then the season's already over. Not how it works in a major market.
Yeah, well, exactly, and that's why we always talk. Well, we talk about some of the maybe there is a little bit of whatever going on. If Justin Fields comes out and throws for 300 plus, and the Jets are fucking amazing, we have an issue with it because we know that that's not what's going to. Shit's fucking great.
Exactly. Who else we got?
But it would be sick. Okay, so the Bucks and the Falcons. Now the Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield -2.5, Atlanta Falcons +2.5. Falcons at home. I think Falcons are due for a breakout, and they have the better team. But it's also I'm stuck on Baker Mayfield and just how good he is with this game. So that's my major hang up. I think the Falcons are prime time to fucking blow up, but at the same time, Baker Mayfield. I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna take Baker. Honestly, Tampa. I think Tampa to cover that. You're on the road. Why not?
So, yeah. So you're liking Baker. The Tampa Bay is not a team that messes around that much, with point spreads and whatnot. And so I think they could beat them by 30. This could be ugly.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
Right. Well, this next game is even tougher. Miami Dolphins, Indianapolis Colts. This has been a tight line the whole time. The Colts at home -1.5. The Dolphins on the road, of course, +1.5. To me, this is really tough because the Colts, if they run the ball effectively, then you're good to go. Then you got the Colts, right? But if the Dolphins get the ball moving, I think the Dolphins. I'm leaning Dolphins here.
I like the Dolphins. I don't love the Dolphins, but it's funny. 2 years ago, if it wasn't for your Buffalo Bills just humiliating them back-to-back weeks, both on the road, and then last year they were just terrible. You had Tyreek saying he wanted to trade, he wanted to be out of there, and the team was just terrible last year. And now he's back, tail between his legs. I expect him to really try to prove something, especially on the heels of all the time that Tua Tunga Vailoa, at the time he spent with other receivers. Yeah, I think that kind of stuck in the craw of Tyreek, and so that team actually has a lot of weapons still. So I don't care if he's over 30 years old. The dude's still like the fastest receiver in the game, and has amazing hands. So this could be really ugly. Plus, we've got problems in Indianapolis with Richardson not being happy, but they still got Jonathan Taylor. They still always play strong on both lines, but being the fact that they're not even favored by 3 at home in week 1, I like Miami. I expect a big game from Tyreek Hill.
Sweet. So we're on the same page in that one. The Vegas Raiders travel to New England. The Raiders are +3 on the road. New England +3. I like New England in this game. I think they're due for the next step. And the Raiders have sort of been stagnant, kind of how I'm feeling, where the Pats franchise is sort of rebuilding, coming out of the depths of the lack of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. So I like the Patriots at home, and I don't know why there's no reason. It's like, let's get it done. They're the favorite. They're at home. Book them.
The Raiders suck. They got a new quarterback in Geno. They got a new head coach. I love their head coach, but I actually like the Raiders because they always win when they're traveling to the East, especially against teams like the Steelers and teams that have
last year
rich tradition. So I'm going to take the Raiders just to win. Just win, baby. That's all they got to do. I think that's going to be how they start off with the new coach. With a new quarterback. This is Vegas. They're still very new as a franchise, and I think they're going somewhere. This team, and New England always has a good defense, but I think that Geno, being one of the most prolific completion percentage passers with some of the weapons that he's got, the fact that Jacoby wanted to trade on those rumors immediately the same day, they go and they sign original first round pick for the Raiders, right? And so the Raiders got some weapons a bit, and let's not forget about their new. They had the best running back in college, their first round pick. So Genty's gonna blow up. We don't know how good he's gonna be in the NFL. All we know is that he was better than anyone in college in the last several years. So
well, all the guys in college say that they've seen him in the shower. And he measures up.
Oh, yeah. I don't hang out in those chat rooms. But I'll take their word for it. Who else we got?
So I hope Janty gets loose. Fuck, dude. Panthers, Jags. Panthers on the road. Right now they are +3.5 on the road. Jacksonville Jaguars -3.5. I like the Jags here. I like them a lot. I think the Panthers are terrible. But listen, I have been watching videos on the internet. And the videos on the internet are saying, yeah, the Panthers are fucking terrible. So I'm like, okay, well, where's all the money going? And then I'm like, this is a forensic pick. You got to take the Panthers. So they have no business. They have no business, John. Even if they lose the game by 3, it could be like one of those games.
I think both teams are garbage, and so it's kind of hard to cast your pearls before that. I mean, you bet garbage and garbage, you're going to probably get garbage. So I just don't feel anything on this. I won't touch this game in any way, shape, or form.
All right. So listen, 2 weeks ago, I looked at the lines for the first time, and I was like, oh, shit. One game popped out at me, and that was the Titans and the Broncos. Now, the Titans +7.5, the Broncos -7.5 at home. Come on. I was dying for the Broncos. I need to make a video about how the Broncos are going to destroy the Titans. And then everything I've seen moving up to this point, everyone had the same opinion. So what does that mean? That means the Titans lose by 4 to 6 points. Hmm?
I think the Titans are going to win.
That's insane. Cam Ward goes nuts.
Well, he was the number one pick. I'm not saying that they're a better team at all.
It's 1 week.
I think it's the first career game for someone with the background and pedigree is those are just games that are won. And I'm real big on week one type things, not just for quarterbacks, but also for head coaches. And pardon to play a race card, but I'm just reporting it. But what I've seen over my life, especially the black head coach type of thing, right? Just like last year against the Bengals. I mean, that was my angle. But because I've seen it so many times, and I profit on this, and it's sad. It's just sad. Maybe I've just been on an uncharacteristically lucky streak for my entire life since I've been paying attention to this stuff. But week one, I've got to go with Cam Ward 100%. And I'm getting better than 2.5. I'm getting like plus 270 on the money line because they're on the road against a team that got better and better and better last year. Bo Nix is the real deal. Sean Payton's a great coach. They're going to be ready and they're at home. And so why would they lose? So I'm taking the upset, and also if you're in a survivor pool and you're taking Denver, you do so not at your own peril. You do so knowing that in week two you're looking for something else to do with your money.
Dude, that was the best take I've ever heard. Also, we got 10 minutes left, a little less, unless I pay for like an upgraded like magic video thing.
Nah, don't do that. We don't get enough likes to afford that kind of stuff.
We need likes, guys. We need subs. Okay, so let's get to the next game. We got the Niners and the Seahawks. Listen, I felt very powerfully about this. I love the Seahawks here. They are an underdog at home. I think they come in with a good defense and a run game that works. And I think they beat the Niners with that formula at home.
I'm all over the Niners. Apply home field advantage here.
Yeah,
you got the Niners favored by 3 on the road. Would they be favored by 11 at home? No, not even. And so those 3 are very, very strong. And again, you got a brand new coach. You got Cooper Kupp, and you have homeboy from the Vikings last year. He had an incredible year. They were the second best team in football for most of the season. So now he's gone. He's got a new home in Seattle. Seattle's going to have a decent team, but not in week one.
Yeah, I like the 12th man. Lions, Packers. Lambeau Field. The Lions come in actually as an underdog. The Packers are now a 2.5-point favorite. So they win by 3 if you take them on the spread. All right, it's crazy here. I'm on the Packers. I was on the Packers a while ago because it seemed like more of an upset. But now all the news is sort of pushing the Packers with this Micah Parsons stuff. So it's forensically, I sort of want to take the Lions in this one. But it just seems like the obvious thing that the Packers are going to win. But guess what? That's what they do to you. So forensically, we're going Lions.
So who are you liking?
I like, for my picks, I'm going the Packers. But forensic picks,
I like Detroit. I like Detroit. Aiden Hutchinson's back. I thought they were the best team clearly last year until Washington did them in the playoffs. But they're just simply a better team, and I have to take them, especially I think the spread is straight. I think it's just going to be such a highly bet game that they're happy to take their 10% vig, which means no matter who wins the game, they make 5% of the handle, and the handle will be, in the hundreds of millions, I'm sure, for this game, if not more. And so it's a money maker no matter what happens. Let's see what happens.
That's sick, dude. You're like, hey, man, just so you guys know, that's like a top 10 John moment. He's like, listen, this is the biggest this. Like, this is what they're going to get. Fucking sick, dude. Love it. So the Lions, I guess, is the pick. Houston at the Rams. Now, Houston comes in +3, CJ Stroud at the helm, entering year 3, right? So, well, he was pretty sick as a rookie. Last year, he kind of took a dump on the field, but that was because every single receiver he had got injured, right? So, I'm still on the Rams in this one. I don't believe in the Stroud, Nico Collins, Houston thing right now. I just don't. They have a great defense, but like I feel like they're another disappointment this year.
I'm taking the Texans in this game. And the reason I'm taking the Texans is because I haven't heard anything yet about Nick Chubb. And Nick Chubb, it's just been very, very silent. But
No news is
Mixon's
good
out
news.
at least the first 4 weeks. Mixon's out. Excuse me, but Chubb, he's a Pro Bowler. I mean, ex Pro Bowler. He went through the injury, basically missed the last 2 years, but that guy's still a stud. And I I see the Texans as a very strong team. I mean, look what they did to the Chargers in the playoffs. I mean, that team is very, very well coached, very well prepared. They got a great quarterback. They've got, one of the greatest receivers in the game, but they got a good defense, great scheme on both sides of the ball. And so I think with the Rams, with Devontae coming in, I think there's going to be a little bit of a hiccup or two with chemistry. We're going to fight to get in the ball. We got to keep everybody happy. We got Puka on this side. And so we'll see what happens. But I think that the Texans are going to give them bigger troubles. I think that at most positions besides wide receiver, the Texans have a better team.
Very wise words, John. I love your responses there. I think I'm betting the Texans. No kidding. Let's go.
No, don't, because then you'll blame it on me if you lose.
Yeah, we'll put $1 in the jar.
There you go.
Jar. We haven't actually put the dollar. The jar is there. We got one more game. One more game before the Monday night game. Sunday night football. One more game on Sunday here. The Ravens. The Bills. No, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be there. I got season tickets to the Bills. I mean, it's crazy because the Bills are a -1.5 right now, and I think if the Bills are gonna stumble, they're gonna do it early this year. I'm on the Ravens to upset the Bills. Sunday night football.
I agree with you. I'm also all over the Ravens. The reason why, it's that 5 o'clock spot, or that's Pacific time, but the late Sunday night or the prime time. Hey, look, it's a thing. The NFL has decided to make it a thing. Lamar Jackson is prime time. And so when he plays in a late game, whether it be Monday, Thursday, or Sunday night, they're going to win that game. And so this should be no different, even though it's coming against, Jared Allen and a very, very great Bills team. I think that this is going to be all Baltimore. Could be ugly. Or it could come down to a last second thing because it's going to be such a highly rated and highly watched game. I think that it's going to be more rated than it is bet. And so that's always a different dynamic too. And so when that happens, when the game's not really such a highly bet game, but it's such a high profile prime time game, that's where you tend to see it come down to a field goal at the end because, they're making their money, on the production itself. So we'll see, but I'm still taking the Ravens because it is a thing. You give me prime time Lamar Jackson all the time.
So why would this game be less bet than other games? Like, what is it? Because it's too close?
Because everybody crapped out. Well, you just had week one, a full slate of Sunday games.
Okay, so Sunday night.
And so by the end of the day, all the parlays are wiped out, and anybody's still going. There's not going to be a lot of money on that. Prime time games at the end of a full slate are dogs in terms of handle. If it's the only game going that day, like on a Monday night or a Thursday night, that's when you're going to find, a lot of, play to where you're going to have more money on one side than the other, and then the other one comes in. That's not what this game is. This game is all about Lamar prime time and getting that NFL season, wrapped up for week one. It's going to be a great week.
Yeah, it sounds fun, man. Wrap it up with Lamar, not the reigning NFL MVP Josh Allen.
Yeah, I think the limp-wristed throwing style of Lamar Jackson. I'm having a Revenge of the Nerds flashback. But even still, you watch. He's gonna throw that football. He's gonna air it out. I think you're gonna see uh,
Yeah, he's gonna be good.
a
He's always
really good
he's
football
always
game, and you're going to see Jackson because they've been only talking about his quote unquote injury, and that happened over a week ago. No real reporting showing that he's healthy or injured either way. It's just been kind of static silence, and so the fact that they're not hyping him up really kind of
yeah.
plays into wanting to bet him.
Mm-hmm. Last game, Monday Night Football, Vikings Bears. What a weird game. Vikings have been so good for so long. They are a favorite on the road, -1.5. The Bears, upcomers, maybe. Good drafts, got some good players. On paper, they look pretty good. Are they good enough on paper to win at Soldier Field? Is it still Soldier Field? I don't know. I like the
You,
Bears.
you like the
Caleb
Bears?
Williams, let's go.
I am going to have to go with the Bears. I mean, because you know why? Week one, new coach, and he's a good one. Everything's going to be different for this Bears team this year.